the miracle of giving without expecting anything in return. The cold wind of dawn slipped through the buildings of the humble neighborhood where Anna lived. She wrapped herself in her old scarf and hurried out of the house. Like every morning, she walked toward the cafe where she had worked for the past 5 years. Her salary barely covered rent and bills, but she never complained. That morning, as she turned on the lights of the small cafe and arranged the chairs, she saw an older man sitting on the sidewalk, shivering from the cold. His clothes were worn, and his gaze was lost in the horizon. Anna felt a pang in her heart. "Good morning, sir," she greeted with a warm smile. "Can I offer you something hot?" The old man looked up, surprised. It had been a long time since anyone spoke to him with such kindness. "I don't have money, daughter," he replied in a hoarse voice. Anna smiled and shook her head. "Don't worry, it's an invitation." Without hesitation, she entered the cafe and prepared a steaming cup of coffee along with a freshly baked bread roll. She carefully took it to him and placed it in his hands, and he looked at her with tears in his eyes. "God bless you," he whispered, moved. Anna just smiled and returned to her work, unaware that this small act of kindness was about to change her life forever. The old man held the cup between his hands, letting the warmth return some life to his numbed fingers. He took a sip and sighed, savoring the coffee as if it were a treasure. Anna watched him from behind the counter while she cleaned some cups, feeling a deep peace in her heart. Throughout the morning, the cafe began to fill with regular customers. Anna attended them with her usual smile, but from time to time, her gaze would wander toward the old man, who remained seated at the table by the window, enjoying each bite of the bread she had given him. When the clock struck 10, the old man stood up with difficulty and approached the counter. "Thank you, daughter. I don't know how to repay you for this." Anna shook her head. "You don't have to repay me anything. I just hope you have a better day today." The old man's eyes shone with gratitude. "I will, because there are still people like you." He adjusted his old coat and left the cafe, disappearing into the cold streets of the city. Anna sighed and returned to her routine, not knowing that this simple gesture had been more meaningful than she realized. Hours later, when the flow of customers decreased, her boss, Mr. Ramirez, entered the cafe with his usual stern expression. He went straight to her. "Anna, why did you give food for free this morning?" he asked, furrowing his brow. Anna felt a knot in her stomach. She knew her boss was strict about the accounts. "It was just a coffee and some bread, Mr. Ramirez." The man needed it. He crossed his arms and watched her silently for a moment. Finally, he sighed. "I don't like us giving away food, but you did the right thing." Anna looked at him, surprised. "I did." Mr. Ramirez nodded slowly. "Yes, not everyone would be willing to give without expecting anything in return. But remember, Anna, life always returns what you give." Anna nodded with a slight smile, not knowing that those words would soon become a reality in her life. The day passed normally, and at the end of her shift, Anna left the cafe, her coat tightly adjusted to protect her from the cold. She walked through the same streets as every night, heading to her small apartment. Despite the exhaustion, her heart felt light. As she walked, she passed by the same corner where she had seen the old man that morning. But he was no longer there. She looked around, hoping to find him, but the street was empty. That night, when she arrived home, she reviewed her bills. Her salary barely covered the month's expenses. She sighed, wondering if her situation would ever improve. However, deep down, she felt certain that she had done the right thing. The next morning, when she arrived at the cafe, something unexpected happened. A luxurious black car was parked outside. From inside, a well-dressed man in an immaculate suit was watching the cafe. Anna entered and began preparing the cafe as usual. Shortly after, The man entered and sat at a table near the window. Anna approached with her best smile. "Good morning. What would you like to drink?" The man observed her with a serene expression, as though evaluating her. "A coffee, please. Black." Anna nodded and went to prepare it. As she served the cup, she noticed Mr. Ramirez leaving his office and stopping in his tracks when he saw the man at the table. His expression changed from surprise to nervousness. "Anna," her boss whispered, leaning toward her. "Do you know who he is?" Anna shook her head. "He's the owner of this chain of cafes," he said in a low voice. "Mr. Fernando Beltran." Anna felt a chill. She had never seen the owner in person. Why was he here? Nervously, she took the coffee to the table. "Here you go, sir." The man took the cup, took a sip, and smiled faintly. "Anna, right?" She nodded, surprised that he knew her name. "Yesterday, someone told me about you," he continued. "They said there's someone here with an honest and generous heart." Anna blinked, confused. "Who?" The man set the cup down on the table and looked at her intently. "The old man you helped yesterday." Anna felt her heart race. She didn't understand how this man and the old man could be connected, but something inside her told her that her act of kindness was about to return to her life in an unexpected way. Anna felt like the entire cafe was fading around her. How could this man know the old man? "Wait. The old man?" she stammered, still not understanding. Fernando Beltran nodded with an enigmatic smile. "The man you helped isn't just anyone. His name is Don Emilio Beltran. He's my father." Anna's eyes widened in surprise. She would never have imagined that the humble man dressed in worn clothes was the father of the owner of the cafe chain. "But why was he on the street?" she asked in disbelief. Fernando sighed and looked out the window as if his thoughts were taking him to another time. "My father has always been a man of faith. He believes in the importance of kindness and generosity. Even though our family has resources, a few years ago, he decided to live like an ordinary man without luxuries to better understand the lives of those who have less." Anna listened carefully, absorbing every word. "He goes out on the streets, observes, listens, and tests people. He wants to see who has a sincere heart," Fernando continued. "Yesterday, he was passing by here when he felt cold and hungry, but he didn't expect anyone to help him, until you appeared." Anna lowered her gaze, feeling suddenly nervous. She had only followed her instinct, doing what she considered right. "I didn't help him expecting anything in return." "I know," Fernando said, leaning slightly toward her. "And that's what makes your gesture even more valuable." Anna didn't know how to respond. She had never thought of her action as something extraordinary. Fernando smiled and took another sip of coffee before speaking again. "My father was impressed with you. He told me he rarely finds people who give without expecting anything in return. And that's why I'm here." Anna looked at him expectantly. "I want to offer you an opportunity." Anna's heart raced. "An opportunity?" Fernando took a card from his pocket and slid it across the table. "Tomorrow, I want you to come to our offices. I think we have something for you." Anna took the card with trembling hands. What did all this mean? What kind of opportunity was he offering her? It seemed like fate was opening an unexpected door. Anna held the card in her hands as her mind tried to process what she had just heard. How could her act of kindness have led her here? "I don't want to pressure you," Fernando said kindly, "but I think you deserve something more than just serving coffee every day." Anna swallowed. It wasn't that she didn't like her job, but the financial struggles and the routine had made her dream of something more, although she never knew exactly what. "Thank you, Mr. Beltran. I don't know what to say." "Just think about it," he replied with a smile. "Tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'll be waiting for you at the address on the card." Fernando finished his coffee, left a bill on the table, and stood up. Before leaving, he looked at her one last time. Sometimes, when we give without expecting anything in return, God surprises us in ways we could never imagine. Anna stayed silent, watching as the owner of the coffee chain walked out the door and got into his luxurious car. When her boss, Mr. Ramirez, approached her, he still seemed stunned. "Anna, do you realize what just happened?" She nodded slowly. "I think so, but I still don't believe it." Ramirez sighed, crossing his arms. "If I were you, I wouldn't hesitate to go tomorrow. These opportunities don't come twice." Anna looked at the card again. Her fingers traced the golden letters where it clearly read, Corporativo Beltran. Her heart pounded. That night, when she got home, she sat at the small table in her apartment, looking at the card again and again. "Lord," she whispered, closing her eyes, "if this is part of your plan, give me clarity to know what to do." The idea of attending the meeting excited her, but at the same time, it scared her. What if it was all a misunderstanding? And what if she wasn't prepared for whatever Fernando had in mind? But deep down, a voice in her heart told her that she needed to trust. Because when you give without expecting anything in return, blessings come in the most unexpected ways. Anna barely slept that night. Her mind kept spinning, thinking about what would happen the next day. Was this really an opportunity to change her life? Or was it just another test of fate? In the morning, she woke up earlier than usual. She put on her best clothes, a white blouse and navy blue pants she reserved for special occasions, and tied her hair in a simple ponytail. Before leaving, she took a deep breath and looked at herself in the mirror. "Everything will be fine," she told herself, trying to calm her nerves. She took a bus to the center of the city, where Corporativo Beltran was located. The building was imposing, with shiny glass windows reflecting the morning sunlight. She had never been in a place like this. When she entered, she was greeted by a receptionist who, after verifying her name, guided her to an elegant waiting room. Anna sat down, feeling out of place. Around her, people in business suits were typing on computers or talking on the phone. After a few minutes, a door opened, and Fernando Beltran appeared with his calm smile. "Anna, I'm glad you came. Please come in." She stood up and followed him into a spacious office with large windows offering an impressive view of the city. "Sit down," Fernando said, pointing to a sofa in front of his desk. Anna obeyed, feeling her heart race. "I know this is unexpected for you," he began, "but I want to get straight to the point. My father was impressed with your generosity and believes that people like you are the ones who truly make a difference in the world." Anna looked at him, not knowing what to say. "Right now, we're looking for someone to run a new social aid program my father wants to implement." Fernando continued, "We want to support people in vulnerable situations, giving them opportunities to move forward." Anna felt a chill. "And what does that have to do with me?" she asked timidly. Fernando smiled. "You embody the spirit of this project. We want you to be part of it." Anna felt like the air was taken from her. She had never had an opportunity like this. "But I'm just a waitress." "You're much more than that, Anna," Fernando responded firmly. "You're a person with a generous and sincere heart, and that's what truly matters." Anna swallowed. Was she really ready for something like this? But then she remembered the old man's words. Life always returns what one gives. Maybe this was her moment. Anna felt her heart race. Fernando's proposal was something she had never imagined. "Mr. Beltran," she said with a trembling voice, "I don't know anything about running an aid program." Fernando smiled with understanding. "We don't expect you to know everything right away. We will provide the necessary training. But the most important thing is that you already have it. Empathy, generosity, and the will to help without expecting anything in return." Anna looked down, trying to process what she was hearing. Her life had been a constant struggle to get ahead, but she never imagined that a simple act of kindness would bring her to this crossroads. I understand this is a lot to take in, Fernando continued. I don't want to pressure you to decide right now. I just want you to know that we trust you. Anna felt a lump in her throat. Could she really do this? Could she change her life and the lives of others with her work? What exactly would I have to do? She asked cautiously. Fernando leaned slightly forward. The program we want to launch seeks to help homeless people, offering them food, shelter, and job opportunities. We want someone with true compassion to lead this initiative. Someone who understands what it means to give without expecting anything in return. Anna shuddered. That sounds incredible. It is, Fernando affirmed. And we believe you are the right person to lead it. Anna felt a tear roll down her cheek. Everything seemed like a dream. Mr. Beltran, I never thought something like this could happen to me. God works in mysterious ways, Anna. And sometimes, he uses people in ways we can't even imagine. Anna took a deep breath. When do I have to give you my answer? Take the day to think about it. But if you decide to accept, we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. right here. Anna nodded. Thank you for trusting me. Fernando smiled. It's not just trust, Anna. It's faith. Anna left the building with the cards still in her hand, feeling as if destiny was offering her something bigger than she had ever dreamed. Now, the decision was in her hands. Anna walked through the city streets, her mind swirling with thoughts. She had never had an opportunity like this. Her life had been marked by constant struggle, working long hours just to survive. And now, suddenly, someone was offering her a position where she could help others, where her kindness meant something more than just a fleeting gesture. When she reached her small apartment, she collapsed onto the couch and closed her eyes. Lord, she whispered, is this from you? She took the card with both hands and looked at it. Corporativo Beltran. The name gleamed in golden letters, as if destiny was giving her a sign. Suddenly, the memory of the old man in the cafe came to her mind. His grateful look, his words filled with wisdom. Life always returns what you give. Anna took a deep breath. What if this was her purpose? What if God had led her here for a greater reason? The next morning, she got up with determination. She put on simple but professional attire, tied her hair back, and grabbed her purse. As she left the house, the fresh morning air enveloped her with a sense of renewal. She took the bus to Corporativo Beltran, but this time her heart was not filled with fear, but with hope. When she arrived, the receptionist immediately recognized her and told her to go in. As she entered Fernando Beltran's office, he greeted her with a smile. Anna, I'm glad to see you. Anna took a deep breath and looked at him with resolve. I want to accept the opportunity. I want to be part of this program and help those who need it. Fernando nodded with satisfaction. I knew you would. Anna felt something inside her light up. Her life was about to change. And this time, it wasn't just for her. It was for everyone who also needed a miracle. Fernando offered her a seat and grabbed a folder with documents before speaking. I'm very glad about your decision, Anna. Don't worry, you won't be alone in this. You'll have a team supporting you and you'll receive training. Anna nodded. She still felt nervous, but her determination was stronger. When do I start? She asked with a small smile. Today, if you're ready. Anna swallowed but nodded with confidence. I'm ready. Fernando smiled. Perfect. We'll start with a tour of one of the community centers we support. I want you to see up close what we do. They left the building and got into a car that took them to a humble neighborhood in the city. When they arrived, Anna saw a community center with a small dining room, a kitchen, and some rooms. Several people were there, some serving food, others organizing clothes and medicines. An elderly man, with gray hair and a kind gaze, approached them. "Fernando, it's great to see you, Father." Fernando replied with a smile. "I want to introduce you to Ana." Ana shuddered as she recognized him. It was the old man from the cafe. "Don Emilio," she whispered in astonishment. The elderly man looked at her with tenderness and took her hands in his. "Ana, my child, I knew God had something great for you." Ana felt tears well up in her eyes. "I don't understand. Why was I chosen?" Don Emilio smiled. "Because when you gave without expecting anything in return, unknowingly, you opened the door to your own miracle." Ana pressed her lips together to hold back the emotion. In that moment, she knew she was exactly where she needed to be. Her life would never be the same. Ana felt her heart stir as she listened to Don Emilio's words. Everything that had happened in the last few days now made sense. Her small act of kindness had not only changed someone else's life, but it was also transforming hers. "Come, I want to show you something," the old man said, gesturing for her to follow him. Ana walked beside him as they toured the community center. With every step, she saw faces full of hope. Children playing with joy, adults receiving a plate of hot food, volunteers lovingly helping those in need. This place was born with the purpose of helping, Don Emilio continued. "Here we provide food, shelter, and opportunities for those who have lost their way. But beyond the material, we offer something even more important: faith." Ana noticed a young mother with her small child, sharing a meal. Her gaze reflected gratitude and a ray of hope in the midst of difficulties. "Sometimes, all someone needs is a gesture of kindness," Ana whispered, remembering that night at the cafe. "Exactly," Don Emilio affirmed. "And you understood it without anyone asking you. That's why you're here." Fernando, who had been watching them silently, intervened. "Ana, we want you to be the coordinator of this program. Help us expand it, take it to more people." Ana felt a mix of emotion and fear. "What if I'm not good enough for this?" Don Emilio gently took her hands. "God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called." Ana felt a chill run down her spine. Those words touched the deepest part of her soul. She took a deep breath and looked up. "If God has brought me here, then I'll do everything in my power to help." Fernando and Don Emilio exchanged a satisfied glance. "Welcome to the team, Ana," Fernando said with a smile. Ana knew, in that instant, that her life had changed forever. And the most beautiful thing of all was that now she had the opportunity to change many others' lives too. The following days were a whirlwind of new experiences for Ana. The community center became her second home. Every morning, she arrived early to collaborate with the volunteers, helping distribute food, clothes, and medicine to those in need. But the most impactful for Ana was getting to know the stories of those who, like her, had once struggled and lost hope. There were people who, for various reasons, found themselves on the streets, without a place to go, without a job, and without anyone to support them. Throughout the week, Ana started organizing workshops to teach the younger ones how to create their own resumes, offering support to find employment and teaching them to value their skills. To others, she offered literacy classes to help them access better opportunities. One morning, while talking to a group in the dining hall, a woman in her 40s approached her. "Thank you for everything you do, Ana. I don't know how we would have made it through all this without you." Ana smiled but couldn't stop a tear from sliding down her face. "I'm just doing what I can. Each of us can do something small that makes a difference." The woman looked at her with grateful eyes. "That something small changed my life. I only asked for a plate of food, but you gave me hope." Ana felt those words carve into her heart. Everything she had done so far, from giving a simple coffee to the elderly man, had been worth it. At the end of the week, Fernando and Don Emilio called her to their office to review the progress of the program. "You've done an impressive job, Ana," said Fernando with a smile. Don Emilio, as always, had a deep and wise look. "Ana, the Lord has used you powerfully. The change you've started here has the potential to multiply across the entire city." Ana felt overwhelmed by the magnitude of his words. "I don't know what to say. I never imagined my life would change like this." Fernando looked at her seriously. "What you've done, Ana, is not just a job. It's a testimony of faith and generosity. And people will see in you the reflection of genuine love." Ana knew that what she was experiencing was not just a change in her career, but a transformation in her soul. Every day that passed, she felt closer to God, guiding her through her mission. The seed of faith she had planted by helping the elderly man, without expecting anything in return, had borne fruit greater than she ever dreamed. Ana began to notice something extraordinary in her life. Every time she helped someone, something inside her was filled with peace and satisfaction, as if the pieces of a puzzle were finally coming together. Sometimes the workday was difficult and exhausting, but it didn't matter. She knew her work had a greater purpose than herself. One day, after an intense day of work, Ana left the community center, feeling a weight of fatigue on her shoulders. But instead of her usual sense of exhaustion and frustration, something else filled her. It was a deep feeling of gratitude. That night, when she arrived at her small apartment, she sat down at her kitchen table, with a cup of hot tea in her hands. As she sipped, she reflected on everything that had happened in the past few weeks. Her encounter with Fernando, the opportunity to help so many people, and how, day by day, she felt closer to God in each of her actions. Her moment of reflection was interrupted by a gentle knock on the door. Who could it be? Thought Ana, rising with curiosity. When she opened it, she found Marta, one of the women from the community center, a single mother who had been attending literacy classes. She was holding a small cloth bag in her hands. "Hello, Ana. Sorry to bother you so late, but I had something for you." Ana smiled, somewhat surprised. "Marta, what's going on? How are you?" Marta handed her the bag. "It's just a small token of gratitude. I know you work hard for all of us, and I don't know how to thank you for everything you've done." Ana opened the bag carefully, and inside, she saw a pair of hand-knitted gloves, carefully made, and a card with a handwritten message. "Thank you for giving me back hope. May God bless you, Marta." Ana felt her heart swell with emotion. It was a simple gift, but deeply meaningful. Marta didn't have much, but still, she wanted to share what she had with Ana. In that moment, Ana understood that the true miracle of giving without expecting anything in return wasn't just about what one gave, but also about what others shared. "Thank you, Marta. This gift means more than you can imagine," Ana said, her voice trembling with emotion. "You are the one making the change, Ana. What you do goes beyond what you can see. We all thank you." Marta smiled, and before leaving, Ana hugged her tightly. When she closed the door behind her, she stood still for a moment, processing everything that had happened. Sometimes, love and gratitude aren't expressed with grand words or gestures. Sometimes, it's a simple gift made from the heart, an act of kindness that changes everything around it. Ana looked at the gloves Marta had given her, feeling God's love flow through each knitted thread. They weren't just gloves. They were a reminder that giving, even when expecting nothing in return, is what truly transforms the world. The days continued passing, and Ana found more moments of unexpected gratitude. Each smile, each word of encouragement from those she had helped, pushed her to keep going. She hadn't just changed the lives of others. Her own heart had been transformed. A month after joining the community center team, Anna was organizing an event to raise funds and resources for those benefiting from the program. The event would take place at the same center, with live music, food stalls, activities for the kids, and a raffle with prizes donated by generous collaborators. The community was excited, and Anna felt a renewed energy as she saw everyone come together for a common cause. While organizing the event, Anna received a call from Fernando. "Hi, Anna. How's everything going with the event?" "Hi, Fernando. Everything is going great. People are responding incredibly. We're so close to reaching our goal." "That's excellent," Fernando replied. "I'm calling because I have something important to tell you." Anna furrowed her brow, intrigued. "What's going on?" "Our program has grown so much that we need to expand it to other neighborhoods. There's an opportunity to work with other organizations, and because of your work here at the center, they're asking you to be the lead coordinator for this project." Anna's heart raced. It was more than she had ever imagined. "Are you asking me to coordinate the entire expansion of the program?" she asked, surprised. "Yes, we are. Your dedication, your compassion, everything you've given is multiplying. The impact you've had here is just the beginning." Anna paused for a moment, absorbing the magnitude of the news. She felt a mix of excitement, fear, and gratitude. Could she handle such a big responsibility? Would she be able to move forward without losing sight of the purpose that had brought her here? "I'm so grateful for this opportunity, Fernando, but I don't know if I'm the right person for this." Fernando interrupted her, his voice firm yet warm. "Anna, from the first moment I met you, I knew you had the heart and the ability to do this. The Lord has brought you here for a reason. You don't need to be perfect, just willing to move forward with faith." Anna closed her eyes, thinking about everything she had experienced up to that moment. What had started as a small act of generosity, without expecting anything in return, had grown and transformed her life in ways she never imagined. Now, God was giving her the opportunity to expand her impact, to help more people, to do even more for those in need. "I'm ready," she said, her voice full of determination. "I knew you would be. We'll support you every step of the way, Anna." Anna smiled, feeling that everything she had experienced up to this point was not a coincidence, but part of a bigger plan. Sometimes, life's path leads to unexpected places, and this was the place God had called her to. Preparations for the program's expansion began quickly. Anna dedicated her time to coordinating new partnerships with other organizations, making contacts, organizing more events, and mobilizing the community to join the cause. Although the work was hard and sometimes exhausting, Anna felt an inner peace she had never known before. One afternoon, while reviewing some reports in her office, Marta, the single mother Anna had helped to learn how to read, walked in with a radiant smile. "Anna," she exclaimed, holding a letter in her hands. "I have something to tell you." Anna looked up, intrigued. "What happened, Marta?" Marta placed the letter on the table and looked at her proudly. "I got the job, the one you helped me apply for. I got it." Anna jumped out of her chair, excited. "That's incredible. I'm so happy for you. How do you feel?" "Incredible. Everything I did was thanks to your help, Anna. I couldn't have done it on my own. Thank you for teaching me to believe in myself." Anna hugged her tightly. In that moment, she couldn't help but think about how far Marta had come. Not only had she found a job, but she had regained her dignity, her faith, and her hope. And it was all thanks to an act of generosity that had seemed so small at the time, but had now sparked a series of changes in the lives of so many people. "This is just the beginning, Marta. I'm so glad you took that step. I'll always be here to help you, and I'll always be grateful, Anna. You showed me what it means to give without expecting anything in return. That's the real miracle." Anna smiled, thinking that, in the end, Marta's words were the truth. The real miracle wasn't just helping others, but also receiving the love and gratitude that came in response. That same night, while Anna prayed in her small apartment, she thanked God for guiding her to this point. The opportunity to help others had transformed not only the lives of those around her, but also her own. She knew that everything she had accomplished was not by her own strength, but because she had decided to act with faith, knowing that each step was part of a bigger purpose. Lord, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be an instrument of your love. Help me continue to be faithful to your will and give without expecting anything in return, because I know that what truly matters is what you do through me. Amen. With those words, Anna lay back in her bed, feeling a deep peace in her heart. She knew her journey wouldn't end here, that there were still many lives to touch and many miracles to witness. But she also knew that with faith and generosity, anything was possible. The impact of the program's expansion was immediate. More neighborhoods, more families, more people in need found support. Anna felt that all the effort was worth it, but also that each new victory brought new challenges. Even though the work was becoming more demanding, the gratitude and love of the community kept her motivated. During one of her visits to the expanding community centers, Anna met a young man named Luis, who was struggling to overcome his addiction. He had been living on the streets but had decided to give the program a chance. He was determined to change, but he felt that the weight of his past was too heavy to carry. "I don't know if I can do this, Anna," he confessed one day, his eyes filled with doubt. "I've failed so many times. I don't know if I'm worth it." Anna looked at him tenderly, remembering Don Emilio's words. God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. She knew her role in that moment wasn't to judge or offer easy answers, but simply to be there to listen and offer a hand. "Luis, we all have tough moments in life, but you don't have to carry all of that alone. What you need to do is take the first step, and then, day by day, God will show you the way. There's no perfection here, just a willingness to change. And that willingness, that desire to move forward, is what truly matters." Luis looked at her, taking a deep breath. Anna could see in his eyes that the inner struggle was still fierce, but also a glimmer of hope. "Thank you. I don't know what to say. I just know I want to change." Anna smiled. "You don't have to say anything. Just keep moving forward one step at a time. We're here to support you." As the months passed, Luis began attending support groups, and though it wasn't easy, he slowly began to recover. One day, Anna saw him working at the community center, helping to organize donations and teaching others what he had learned himself. He had taken the first step, and with the help of the community, he was starting to rebuild his life. The work that Anna had been doing, which had seemed so small at the beginning, was now bearing fruit in ways she could never have imagined. Every story, every miracle of transformation, confirmed again and again. When you give without expecting anything in return, the impact is much greater than what can be measured. One afternoon, as Anna was walking to the community center, she ran into Fernando. They stopped in front of the building, watching as people arrived to receive help. "I never thought we'd see all of this, Anna. You've done a wonderful job. The city is changing because of you." Anna looked at him with a humble smile. "It's not me, Fernando. It's the power of giving. God has been working through all of us. I just took the first step and trusted. And now, here we are, changing lives." Fernando nodded thoughtfully. "Yes, I know. But what you've done is bigger than you realize. You've planted a seed of hope in many hearts. And that, Anna, is what truly changes the world." Anna felt emotion flood her once again. She had begun this journey with a simple act of generosity, expecting nothing in return. And now, what had started with a cup of coffee had become a support network, a transformed community, and a living testimony of what happens when you act with faith. With a calm smile, Anna looked at the horizon, knowing that there was still much to be done, but also feeling that she was exactly where she needed to be. One afternoon, while Anna was in her office reviewing the progress of the program, something unexpected happened. A young man in his 20s, his face marked by fatigue and the signs of a difficult life, approached the reception desk of the community center timidly. "How can I help you?" Marta, who was working that afternoon at reception, asked. The young man hesitated for a moment before speaking. "I came to ask for help, but I don't know if I deserve it." Marta looked at him kindly and asked him to wait for a moment. She told him that Anna was busy but that he could speak with her if he wanted. As soon as Anna saw the young man enter the lobby, something in his gaze made her pause. His eyes reflected deep pain, and a familiar echo resonated within her. Anna knew what it was like to feel that burden, that sense of being lost. "Hello, I'm Anna. How can I help you?" Anna said with a warm smile. The young man looked down before answering, as if every word was a battle. "I've been living on the streets, and I don't know how to get to something better. I don't think I have any chance." Anna sat down in front of him, inviting him to open up, knowing that this encounter was not a coincidence. "Your story isn't the first I've heard, and it won't be the last," she said softly. "But we all have the capacity to change, even when we don't believe it. The first step is to believe you deserve something better, and to be willing to accept help." The young man looked at her with disbelief. "Do you think someone like me can change?" Anna nodded without hesitation. "It's not easy, but what matters is that you take the first step. The program here is designed to help you rise up, not only to meet your immediate needs but to change your life at its core. We don't judge here, we just offer a space for you to rebuild." The young man swallowed hard, as if those words were the first seeds of hope he had heard in a long time. "I'll try," he said in a trembling voice. Anna smiled at him. "You don't have to do it alone. We're here to support you. Come, I'll show you how to start." As Anna guided him to the area where orientations for new participants began, she once again remembered that her journey of faith and generosity had never been just about what she could give. It was a process of constant sowing, where every act of kindness, without expecting anything in return, was creating a network that kept everyone connected. Every transformed life was proof that miracles, even small ones, multiplied through selfless action. That night, as Anna returned to her apartment, she couldn't help but smile as she remembered the young man. Something in her heart told her that this would just be another testimony of how, when you give without expecting anything in return, God works in ways that can't always be seen immediately. Sometimes, the simplest things can trigger the deepest changes. Anna sat by the window, looking at the city lights and thinking about everything she had accomplished, but also everything that was still to be done. However, she felt grateful because she knew she wasn't alone on this journey. Every person who joined the cause, every life that changed, was the living testimony of what it means to give without expecting anything in return. And in her heart, Anna knew that the miracles would continue to flow as long as she kept walking in faith, guided by a love that asked for nothing, only gave. The following weeks were filled with profound moments that confirmed again and again the strength of selfless love. Anna saw how people who began to join the program started to regain confidence, restore their lives, and most importantly, feel worthy of a future full of hope. In one of the training workshops, she met Gabriella, a woman who had been trapped in a cycle of abuse and, after years of suffering, finally decided to seek help. At first, Gabriella was withdrawn and distrustful, as if she feared that any support would only be temporary, like everything else in her life. Anna, however, didn't stop offering her support, always with a sincere smile and an ear ready to listen. One day, After several weeks of working together, Gabriella approached Anna with bright eyes, as if she had finally found something that gave her peace. Anna, I want to thank you. I know you've taken the time to listen to me, and that means so much to me. I haven't had anyone listen to me for real in a long time. Anna looked at her with affection, feeling immense gratitude for that small but significant step that Gabriella had taken. You don't need to thank me, Gabriella. Everything we've done so far is just a reflection of God's love. I'm just an instrument, but it's you who has made the decision to heal and rebuild. That's the most valuable part. Gabriella smiled, and for the first time, Anna saw a spark of real hope in her eyes. I think now I can start dreaming again. I don't know what the future holds, but I know this is a good place to begin. Anna hugged her, knowing that every story like Gabriella's was a testament to the greatness of what can be achieved when you give without expecting anything in return. Anna wasn't there to be a savior, but to be a guide, a reflection of the unconditional love she herself had received. And that love multiplied every day, in every life touched. As all of this was happening, the news of the program's achievements spread throughout the city. More people began to approach, seeking the help that Anna and her team offered unconditionally. But Anna knew that the true miracle wasn't in the number of people who arrived, but in the hearts that were being transformed. One afternoon, as Anna was walking through the hallways of the community center, she ran into Marta, who had been volunteering since her own healing journey. Marta approached with an expression of excitement on her face. Anna, I want to tell you something. My daughter just got a scholarship to study at the university. And all of this, she achieved it because she now believes in herself. You gave us that boost. Anna hugged her, her heart full of gratitude. It's not you or me, Marta. It's God working in each of us. I just planted a seed, but you and your daughter have made it grow with your effort. Marta and her daughter's story, along with so many others, was a living proof that, when one gives without expecting anything in return, blessings don't always manifest immediately. But with time, the fruits of generosity become evident in surprising ways. That night, Anna sat by her window, looking at the stars and feeling a deep peace. She knew that the path she had walked hadn't always been easy, but that every sacrifice, every moment of doubt, and every act of generosity had been worth it. Because through those small acts of love, God had touched so many lives, and she herself had been transformed in the process. The miracle of giving without expecting anything in return, Anna thought, doesn't just change those who receive. It also changes those who give. The warm spring weather brought a renewed sense of vitality to the community center. The days were longer, and with them, the opportunities to reach more needy hearts. Anna was more convinced than ever that giving without expecting anything in return didn't just transform others, but had also transformed her in ways she could not have imagined when she began this journey. During one of her visits to the new communities they had begun to expand to, Anna met Samuel, an older man who had lost his home after a series of bad decisions and circumstances beyond his control. Though initially reluctant to accept help, something in his gaze made Anna feel the need to talk to him. Hello, Samuel. Anna greeted him with a smile. How are you feeling today? Samuel looked at her with a stern expression at first, but something in Anna's tone made him soften. I've been better, but I know I'm not the kind of person who needs help. Sometimes I feel like it's too late to change. Anna sat down in front of him, not rushing. There's no such thing as too late when you're willing to take the next step, Samuel. We all make mistakes, but what matters is what we do after we acknowledge them. We're not here to judge, but to offer an opportunity. Samuel looked at her skeptically. An opportunity? For what? To fall back into the same thing? Anna sighed, understanding the fear and pain behind those words. But she also knew that the power of giving didn't only lie in what one could receive, but in what one was capable of offering, even when it wasn't expected. Every day is a new opportunity, Samuel. And the true opportunity isn't just about falling or not falling, it's about growing. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen before. What matters is that you now have a new possibility, and I'm here to walk beside you as you take it. The man said nothing for a moment. He kept his gaze on the ground, as if Anna's words were struggling to penetrate a heart hardened by time and suffering. Finally, he looked up and, in a soft voice, said, "Maybe it's not too late after all. Maybe I can try something different." Anna smiled, her heart filled with hope. She knew that this moment, though small, was significant. She had touched a chord in Samuel that may have been dormant for years. And though the path of his healing wouldn't be easy or quick, that first step was the beginning of a transformation that only God could orchestrate. In the following months, Samuel began attending the community center, participating in integration activities, and slowly finding his place in the world again. The help he received wasn't just material, but also emotional and spiritual. And though at times it seemed he was taking steps backward, Anna never stopped supporting him. On one of his visits to the center, Samuel approached Anna with a letter in his hands. "I want to thank you, Anna. This is the first time in years that I feel like I'm really building something positive. I don't know what the future holds, but I know this is the right thing." Anna looked him in the eyes and smiled. "The fact that you're here and that you're willing to move forward, Samuel, is a testament to what happens when you give, even without expecting anything in return. You have more than you think. You just need to take the next step, over and over." Anna's heart was filled with gratitude as she saw Samuel's progress. That very morning, after saying goodbye to him, she walked through the center, looking around. She didn't just see the physical growth of the place, but also the expansion of love and hope in the people who lived there. Every face she saw was a story of change, of small but powerful miracles. Anna no longer had any doubts. The journey that had begun with a simple act of generosity had been much bigger than she had ever imagined. Every life touched, every soul restored, was a reminder that when you give without expecting anything in return, you create a chain of miracles that has no end. Summer brought with it a sense of fulfillment to the community center. Anna, who had dedicated her whole being to this project, watched as the support network grew with each passing day. The success stories were beginning to be many, but what truly moved her wasn't just the visible change in the people, but the internal change, the rebirth of hope in their hearts. One day, during a community event at the park, Anna witnessed something that marked a turning point in her journey. A group of people who had gone through the program gathered to share their testimonies. Anna wasn't expecting anything extraordinary, but when one of the participants, Carla, stood up to speak, what she said made everyone in the room fall silent. "A year ago, I was lost. No one wanted me around, not even my own family. I had made mistakes that led me to lose everything. One day, Anna offered me a cup of coffee and a few words of hope, and that changed my life. Not just because of the coffee, but because of the way she looked at me. She saw me as a person, not as someone condemned. She helped me believe in myself." Anna looked at her from her seat, feeling an overwhelming wave of emotion. She had spent so much time helping others, without thinking about the impact her actions could have. Hearing Carla speak with so much love and gratitude felt like receiving an unexpected gift. Carla continued, looking at the others. "Thanks to this program, I now have a job. I've repaired my relationship with my family, and most importantly, I've reconciled with myself. If Anna hadn't taken that first step toward me, I wouldn't be here today. And I want to thank her for every day she believed in me. Even when I couldn't believe in myself, the atmosphere was charged with emotion." Anna couldn't hold back her tears, but she smiled humbly. She had given without expecting anything in return, and now she realized that this act of generosity had borne fruit far beyond what she had imagined. The miracle of giving was alive in everyone who was there. At the end of the event, Anna was surrounded by several of the participants, all of them thanking her for her efforts. But she knew that what she had truly achieved was something much greater. It wasn't about her, nor her individual effort. It was about the community, the transformed lives, the network of support that had been built around selfless generosity. That night, Anna returned to her apartment, exhausted but filled with gratitude. She sat by the window, looking at the stars that illuminated the sky. She knew her journey hadn't ended, but she also knew that she had taken giant steps toward what really mattered. A world where every act of kindness could trigger an infinite chain of miracles. She reclined in her chair, closing her eyes for a moment, and whispered a prayer to the Lord. "Thank you, Lord, for giving me the opportunity to be part of something so beautiful. Thank you for showing me that the true miracle is not in what we receive, but in what we are capable of giving. Help me continue walking in your love, without expecting anything in return, because I know you always provide what we need, even when we don't seek it." Anna knew that although the journey continued, every step taken was a testimony of what happened when one gave fully, without reservations. And that was the true magic. A love that expected nothing in return, but in return, transformed everything. Autumn slowly arrived, painting the leaves of the trees in golden and reddish hues. The cool air brought with it a new cycle for Anna and for the community center. The work that had begun with a simple act of generosity had grown into a vibrant community, where everyone supported each other in their journey of healing and transformation. Anna found herself calmer than ever, but she knew the mission wasn't over. She had learned, through her own experiences and those of others, that selfless love not only changes those who receive it, but also those who give it. Every day that passed, she felt her faith deepen even further. Generosity wasn't just an act, it was a way of life. One afternoon, Anna met with her team to plan a new project that would further expand the reach of the program. While discussing the details, Anna couldn't help but feel filled with gratitude for everyone who had been part of this journey. However, what filled her heart the most was the feeling that the seed she had planted was still bearing fruit. At that moment, Marta, who had been one of the most dedicated volunteers from the beginning, approached Anna with a letter. "Anna, I want you to read this. It's for you." Anna looked at her curiously and took the letter. Upon opening it, she found simple but powerful words. "Thank you, Anna, for teaching me that giving without expecting anything in return not only transforms lives, but also transforms us. On this journey, I have found something greater than hope. I have found faith in myself, faith in others, and faith that God's love is the driving force behind everything. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be part of this miracle. I love you so much." Anna read those words several times, feeling how emotion overtook her. She didn't need more proof that everything she had done had been part of a divine plan, much bigger than herself. As she lifted her gaze, she saw all the team members gathered around her, smiling and celebrating the impact of what they had achieved together. That community center, which had once been just an idea, was now a source of hope and life for so many people. At that precise moment, Anna knew she didn't need to expect anything in return, because the true miracle had already happened. She had seen lives change, how unconditional love healed deep wounds, how generosity multiplied in unexpected ways, and all of that without expecting anything in return. With a serene smile, Anna lifted her head toward the sky, thanking once more for everything she had received, and for everything that was still to come. The journey hadn't ended. It had only just begun. And, as she walked toward the future, Anna understood that the greatest miracle of all wasn't the one she had experienced, but the one she had witnessed in every life she touched, in every restored soul, in every act of love that continued in her own life. Because, in the end, giving without expecting anything in return always translates into receiving more than one could ever have imagined.